This is just, they all mean nothing. Kind of like everybody's complaints about Harrison Butker's speech. It's all a bunch of complaining nonsense, dude. I just keep seeing it, like, these posts get shared, and then, like, the longest things to say about them. Like, you know what? As a woman, I've accomplished many things. And, like, they're acting as if this dude hopped on stage and was like, women suck, dude. We're way better than them. They need to stay in the house and listen to what we say. That's, like, what people are. First, let's go to what he actually said. The couple paragraphs.
I have seen the one clip like once or twice. I'm going into
a clip of him actually talking.
Yeah, I'm going into this fairly blind.
Oh, that's.
I mean,
that's
I've seen that.
I've seen the clip that you saw. What was he talking about?
I saw the thing that people are pissed about, where he's talking about how his wife was like a
what are you
like
doing?
Homestead
Buster, go to the document, not the whole transcript. That's a 20-minute speech. That's a couple thousand words.
That is the document. Oh, the Word document.
There you go.
Yeah, go with that and try to find that in the YouTube while we...
So, since you're going into this kind of blind, and just in case anybody that's listening hasn't really paid attention, he gave a speech at a school that he went to, and it's a bunch of fucking Catholics. And he
was
came
at a Catholic school?
I don't know if it's like really actually considered a Catholic school, but it's a bunch of fucking Catholic people.
Okay.
That's why he's talking so much about their Catholic faith.
Sure.
And when he comes in, he really like starts off with talking about abortion. And then like he's talking about like basically saying, hey, don't listen to the ways of the world. Stay focused on your faith. He's like, our country's led by a man who went to a pro-abortion rally, which it wasn't really pro-abortion, it was just pro-choice.
Sure.
And so like I get like where people are like upset and think he has a shitty take on this, because then he also goes into talk about like Catholics and how there's some Catholic ministers that shouldn't be listened to either, and then he like gives some good graces to good ones. He talks about his role as a man, his role as a father, and that's where he starts getting into be unapologetic in your masculinity and shit like that, talking to young men, trying to inspire young men to be more like fucking men. Because I mean, I'm not like, we've talked a little bit about it before, like people always leave those comments like, oh, we'd be fucked if we have to storm Normandy today. Yeah. And it's like, I wouldn't go so like that fucking far, but like men, like there has been a demasculation of men, like people like, oh, why are you like that? That's so toxic just for you to be a dude, you know? Like, I do agree it's toxic, like when you talk about gym culture, the way people happen to be like, oh, you don't fucking lift, you're a fucking bitch. But like,
that's
95% of the dudes that you meet in a gym that are like actually jacked and fit, they're not like that.
Yeah, sure.
Like it's a very small percentage, but it's always the negative comments that are gonna get outlooked over top of the good comments. And those dudes are usually chill. They go home, they go to work, they go to the gym, so you don't really see them too much.
Sure.
But like at the end of this, he really like just dives into his wife. And you know what I'm saying? Her playing her role as a wife and a mother. And somehow the internet got very upset about this.
Yeah.
Like so upset that people are trying to get this man to lose his fucking job as a professional football player.
Yeah, I do think that is extreme. I do have one question though. What school is this at? Because here's something that I will say. This isn't even like a fault per se, but just like knowing your audience. I do think, didn't he do this at a women's college? Wasn't that the thing that like pissed everybody off? Like he was just saying all this stuff like to women, and it was like it was just not necessarily the best place to talk about it.
I'm pretty sure do you want to look that up?
I don't know. This is just something I've heard.
We got
I don't
this
even know
guy
if this
too
is true.
fucking stoned, dude, and he's fucking lagging out there.
What are you talking about? We don't do that. We just smoke tobacco.
Oh yeah,
we have cigars to set.
Nicotine
sessions.
high, dude. Nicotine high. It's a Catholic liberal arts school.
Okay, so it wasn't.
I mean, he went to school there, so it's no way it's just for women.
And go back to go back to that the YouTube clip and see if, because it probably has it on the, like, or scroll past the transcript quick. Like down past.
Scroll down.
No. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't say. So that might be bullshit.
Yeah, that's definitely bullshit.
Okay.
He went to school there. There's no fucking way.
So it's not
women.
just a women's college. It's just a Catholic school.
Yeah, it's like a Catholic.
So it's not even really like, it wasn't even really the crowd. It was just the internet's reaction. It was just like, this is it's some old school
Go
Catholic.
to the meme. Let's read the meme, and then I'll read what he actually, like, things he was actually saying. Sure. Everyone is taking what I said out of context. All I said is that we should go back to a better time like the 50s and 60s when men were men and women had more babies than thoughts. When the only Me Too movement was the woman saying she was ready for her fourth child and another woman agreed. This is fake. And this is the biggest thing. So most people have not actually listened to the 20-minute and 30-some second speech that I listened to twice back to back to make sure I wasn't missing points. They just saw this. And they're just taking it at face value. They're not even taking the 15 seconds it takes to look it up on Google and see that this is fake and he didn't actually say this part. He says things like, our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make a sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. He is not alone. For the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. This is an important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
shitty take, right? Kind of a shitty take. It's not the worst take ever, but it's kind of a shitty take.
I mean, look, I'll say this, being raised Catholic, very old school Catholic train of thought there, for sure. I mean, that's very in line with, like,
and this is my thing, that
old school Catholic.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
This is not, it's not tens. It's not hundreds, thousands. It's not even hundreds of thousands. It's millions of people across the world. Millions, dude, probably hundreds of millions that fall into the same ideology as just that one fucking paragraph. So I get it. I don't necessarily agree. I'm like, I don't think it's fair for you to tell people that they can't really be Catholic if they're doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a very power to the people, power to the states. The federal government should handle what they're meant to fucking handle, things like that. Separation of church and state, all of that. So yeah. I don't think it's the best take, but I'm like, dude, if this is the guy that you're fucking worried about, how many people, child producers for children's shows that we all grew up watching, elitist, some of the richest people on the planet, politicians, people that we've looked up to and we've supported for years, have been caught in the last 4 years that they're fucking pedophiles or rapists. But everybody's mad at this guy right now. Like, this is the worst man on the internet at this moment. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, do you have too much time on your hands or fucking what, dog, to be upset about that? Yeah. Like, there's his women's jerseys for Harrison Butker have sold out. In multiple sizes have actually sold out. They've been difficult to get. The price just got jacked way the fuck up. There's a fucking, petition, 200,000 signatures almost to get him removed from Kansas City Chiefs.
That's dumb. Look, I mean, speaking as the atheist here, I mean, I do heavily resent the Catholic Church, and I really do. Like, that's the one thing in this that has been kind of glaringly disturbing to me, because I do find that ideology, like, very just not good, not beneficial, like very harmful to a lot of people. You know, I mean, you talk about pedophilia. I mean, look at the Catholic Church. I mean, it's
exactly huge piece of it.
So I mean, it's kind of
facts. I think that's more than just Catholics, though. To be fair, I think the Catholics just got caught once,
but I mean,
and then it just caused more digging.
Sure, but I think especially if you're in something like the Catholic Church, you're professing yourself like to an ideology that's like effectively harming people in a sense, like actively, and like you're just kind of like turning a blind eye. Like, look, I remember one time I was living with my parents after my separation, my divorce, and I walked in, my dad was watching the news, and it was like talking about how the Pope like was addressing or hadn't addressed like certain sexual allegations about, but he just turned the TV off, just boop, just like ignored it. And I think that's what like most, I mean, frankly, religious people in general, but especially Catholic. Like, if you're in that ideology specifically, you're like if you're like I'm a fucking Catholic.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot different than being like a New Age Christian or like a Protestant hippie. You know what I mean? Like the New Age shit.
100%.
Catholic is like fucking hardcore, man. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it's all.
It's like almost
bad,
as hardcore as fucking. Like the Muslim religion.
But anyway, I'm not trying to detract from.
No, I what you're saying makes sense. But my whole point to people was too is like, so there's just as many people that would say the exact opposite of what you just said. You know what I mean?
Sure. Oh yeah.
There's just as many people that think our side of the ideology, which is the opposite of what he's talking about. There's people that think he's wrong, and they're wrong. But I'm like. Who is actually wrong? I'm like, why do I? At the end of the day, we're all just people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as a person, I don't think just as an American citizen, I think as a human being alive on this planet, that you should be allowed to believe, for the most part, I guess, most things, you should be allowed to have your beliefs and not just be absolutely demonized for it.
And look, I think that ties into like the broader point that I really agreed with you on when you were posting about this on. I can't talk today about this on social media. Is that like, why do you care? And you kind of just said it earlier. Like, why do you really care about what this guy said at his speech? Like,
and I have a reason to care. When they're like, well, why do you care?
Sure.
Because you're trying to get rid of our fucking kicker, dog.
You have a personal
He's one of the best kickers in NFL history, and that's not why. It's not me defending him like he's done nothing wrong. You should be able to have your opinion and tell him you think he's wrong. He had a 20-minute speech, dog. Get your own 20-minute speech and give it to him then, nigga. Why are you trying to get him removed from his job?
You guys
should you get removed from your job because you had an abortion? No. So why should he get removed from his job because he thinks abortion's bad? Like, make it make sense.
You guys also have to remember, LoLo puts down real cash, real money every year for sports.
Well, I do the smart way though. I find the deals.
I'm just talking
like,
shit.
hey, like Bet365 was like, if you sign up with Bet365 and you put $10 on the account, we give you $365 worth of betting money. Okay.
Yeah.
Once I ran out of money on that account, once all the money was gone on that account hit zero, no more bets. Yeah. Moved on to the next app with another deal.
Smart.
So, and there's still like 15 different fucking apps that I could use in this next season. Like, I'm gonna have like $500 that I'm gonna put into different accounts. I'll make my bets. You know, I'll win some, lose some, take some money out here and there, and whenever it's zero, it's fucking zero, bud. That's when I'm done with the season. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I was up, dude. I was up by a lot.
Yeah.
I won a total of probably $2,000 last year, and cash money straight from my pocket, I probably spent $300. Yeah, so fuck you, dude. Anyways, I want to move on to this too.
Sure.
Because people took this part so bad.
Sure. Can we watch? Can we watch some of this?
So if you go back to YouTube and you scroll down, I did see pieces where it showed like documents. Nah, go down further.
I feel like that.
Nah, past this, all this. Keep like down past the title. Nah, not that box.
This isn't the best way.
This is the transcript. Go outside of that gray box. Now scroll. There you go. Down there.
Oh, there we go.
So the wife, maybe? It's 13 minutes.
This is the part that's really pissing people off, yeah.
She's a primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She is the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no. As a man who gets a lot of praise and has been given a platform to speak to audiences like this one today, I pray that I always use my voice for God and not for myself. Everything I am saying to you is not from a place of wisdom, but rather a place of experience. I am hopeful that these words will be seen as those from a man not much older than you, who feels it is imperative that this class, this generation, and this time in our society must stop pretending that the things we see around us are normal. Heterodox ideas abound even within Catholic circles, for let's be honest, there is nothing good about playing God with having children, whether that be your ideal number or the perfect time to conceive. No matter how you spin it, there is nothing natural about Catholic birth control. It is only in the past few years that I have grown encouraged to speak more boldly and directly, because as I mentioned earlier, I have leaned into my vocation as a husband and father, and as a man. To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture, and when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the U.S. And a correlation in their people, young and
man, this guy he should be fucking stoned, dude. I mean, we should just chain him up in public and let everybody fucking give him a lashing.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm saying it sarcastically.
Yeah, no,
it's just like, you can exit out of this. It was just like, yeah, like, when you listen to the speech, yeah, it's not like, oh my God, what he's saying is so great. But it's just like,
he's definitely hardcore Catholic.
100%.
Like old school hardcore.
But I mean, he's
People
a
are
grown ass
pissed about that.
man with his own fucking shit going on. If he wants to be a hardcore Catholic, he can be a hardcore fucking Catholic. There's hardcore Catholics all over. And they're like, well, he should have been smarter knowing he has a platform and speaking to children. Be smarter. He says what he believes is the smartest thing that he could have said. The best thing to say to these kids. That's what he felt. And they chose him to do it. And I almost guaranteed that this speech had to have been read through and approved before he could go do it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, and I mean, like I said, this falls exactly in line with probably how that
ovation.
School. Yeah.
I mean, I think they liked it. It's just like, it's incredible. So now that's actually awesome because I don't have to read that part because it was the whole thing about it. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabella, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she became...
Is it possible we could find that part? I think that's the part that...
That's basically where it started, that we just listened to. But it started with...
But like, it just hadn't gotten to the end. It is pretty long. Yeah, I don't know. I guess here...
this transcript, these words seem off. I don't think that got all those words point on that he said. I mean, either way, it all...
I guess here's the thing that I can see people would be upset about at that second paragraph. Because he's saying explicitly that the most important role that woman can have is to be a mother. I think there are women who find
Catholic
that
faith. Yeah, I get
exactly.
it.
Like they find that limiting. I think that's like the whole critique of like that hardcore Catholic lifestyle. Is like
it's just a fucking weird ass thing to spend so much time bitching about.
Exactly.
Like, dude, there is literally millions of them. Like, what are you gonna do, dude?
I think his speech is very authoritarian in nature, and that's something that like I kind of. Not even like I object to what he's talking about, but like at the core, I can really understand how people would be upset by just saying like, oh, hey, like insinuating in that last bit, like, hey, the wife should just be at home doing that. Like, I think people are in a way, like I do agree with the first part.
He does literally say, become my wife and embrace one of the most important titles of all. He didn't say this is the only thing you can do.
No, but
And I mean,
I'm not saying that.
Even if you think, because like, if you're thinking of a woman outside of, okay, my wife's a fucking doctor that makes bank and likes to go skiing and she's really good at it and she used to be a champion volleyball player. Okay? I mean, the lady that carried your fucking kids and makes your home a home, it's a pretty fucking important role. She can still be the doctor that likes to ski and was a volleyball champion. But would you not, like, I can see the ideology of, but the most important thing she's ever done in her life is be a great wife and a great mother. Just like the most important thing he's done is be a great father.
Sure.
Like, I mean, it's just like...
But I think that there are people, because, like, you talk about being a father. I kind of feel the same way in a way about being a father. I do kind of think that, like, it can be limiting in a way to just kind of say like, hey, you're meant to be like a good father or a good mother. Like, I think there are a lot of people who don't feel like that.
I just don't understand how that's limiting. That's what I'm saying. It's not saying that you can't be other things.
No, but if
it's
that's
saying
like the
that
focus,
he's saying the most important role he's ever had in his life because he said it earlier.
I understand, but if you're saying it's the most important thing, that's insinuating that's like the focus of it in a way, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand that?
Kind of. I mean, I feel like it's still... but he didn't, though. He didn't say anything specifically that was limiting.
I'm not saying he said anything specifically. Just in the tone of his speech and the fact that he kind of ended that paragraph like that, it is very reminiscent of that kind of ideology. I guess that's at my core, I can feel that.
Yeah, that's Catholics.
Yeah.
That's Catholics for you. That's what I'm saying. That's my whole thing. It's just like they blew it way out of proportion. They're like, there's people on the internet like, I'm a woman and Harrison Butker thinks I should just stay in the kitchen. He never even mentioned cooking once. He just said being a homemaker. That's what women do. They make the home.
No, and I agree with you
99% of the time.
I agree with you 100% on that. I think the reaction is way overdone. Really on either side. I mean, I think if you're like just... I don't know. I just don't get like being that upset about like a man doing this.